What are you talking about?
I did not like it. But
Eat shit,
blew.
both of you.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast with Jackie and Jonny. I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Johnny DeVito.
And thank you so much for watching or listening or whatever you happen to be doing at this particular moment.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool of you to do.
Yeah.
A lot of decisions. You know what I mean? You listen to other stuff.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're listening to us.
Yeah. You know what else would be pretty cool? If you you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button.
Smash it.
Leave us a comment. Give us a share. Share us with your friends and family. Put us up in your IG stories.
That'd be cool.
See us. Hey, follow us on TikTok. We're on TikTok now. Show Me Yours. We're on the talk. We're ticking and talking.
Yes, we are.
Show Me Yours podcast on TikTok. Follow now or follow later. Probably, preferably now.
I mean, the sooner the better, Jackie. It's kind of weird to tell them to do something and then tell them, like, give them a little bit of leeway time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Follow
I want
now.
you to do something.
Just follow right now. Stop listening. Or actually, you can probably do both at once. Keep listening. Open up TikTok and give us a follow. And then go to YouTube. If you're not on it, subscribe to us there. And Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe to us those places
I
as
second
well.
all of these things. Yeah, I mean, I think it went on a little long, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? But I'm Johnny DeVito, and I approve these messages.
There you go. We have a fun episode for you guys today. We had the hilarious, one of our favorite local comedians.
Truly hilarious.
Yeah,
oh, yes.
the hilarious Darcy Boon Collins was here. He brought on sorry, I forgot how to speak there for a second.
I mean, you're taking this whole thing. I'm loving the watch. I'm loving everything that I'm seeing here.
He brought in some Randy Newman for us to enjoy. We thought it was a joke.
I really thought he was fucking with us there. I really thought he was fucking around. Turns out that Randy Newman's more punk rock than anything that I've ever been familiar. You know, which is very cool. It's very cool.
We learned a lot.
We did. I think he's we're like top of the list for return guests for sure. You feel like he's got some knowledge in that.
Yeah.
And that big stupid brain of his.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to re-listen to this album.
Yeah, this will be the first one that we're actually going to have to go back with a fine-tooth comb. And like, we might even have to do like an updated opinion piece on it or something.
Yeah. Maybe like a solo cast on it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I listened to it hungover and just kind of was like, what the fuck is going on here? And there's a lot more meat on that bone than I thought.
Yeah, I listened to it assuming that this was like a bit.
Yeah, I thought he was just fucking
doing.
with us. Yeah.
And then when he got here and we were like, all right, what is this? And he was like, fuck both of you.
Yeah.
At first, there was like probably 2 minutes there where I still couldn't tell if this was an elaborate bit.
I mean, it still might be.
Yeah.
It still might be. We might be. We might be on here.
Be
just
like
looking the fool right now. But either way, listen to the album. Leave it up for yourself. Yeah. And anywhere that you see the Darcy Boon Collins, check that motherfucker out.
Yeah, exactly. And us. Once again, find us on
Jesus Christ, Jackie. Watch the episode. You know what? We should just get into it. Yeah. Welcome back to Show Me Yours, everybody. We have a fantastic guest on the couch. For my money, one of the funniest people in town. He is Darcy Boon Collins. Welcome to the couch.
What up?
Yeah.
DBC
and the place to be.
DBC and Burnaby.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming over. What's going on?
Having me.
What's new in the world, my friend?
Are we this comes out way after
it will come out.
We record
out
this
Monday.
Will it?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. September 18th. I'm doing I'm gonna do this right off the bat 'cause I'm so excited.
Oh, we'll talk about it all through.
I'm doing a one sort of a 2-man show with Brett Skillen, who's the funniest man of all time, and he and I are going to be doing a show called Showbiz or Else, and it is going to be at Little Mountain Gallery on September 18th. We're charging $5 a ticket. and we want it to be as many comics as possible.
Oh.
Nice.
We don't want normal people there
No
because
shit.
they're not going to find it funny.
Well, you guys are
We
not
just
invited.
want-
yeah. So don't
we
come.
just want comics. Well, I mean, I don't want to slam your fan base. It's probably mostly comics at this point,
Oh,
right?
I would
think
be. Yeah.
so,
It's
yeah.
people
It would be
listening to
Friends and
see
family and comic J.
Yeah.
Yeah.
friends and family who are so proud of you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
So proud.
local comics making sure you're not talking shit.
We're talking shit.
well, yeah, we've had a few moments. Yeah.
Oh, who sucks the most?
Oh, we'll tell you after, but you
Yeah,
can probably, I mean, with a couple drinks or whatever, you can probably get
Yeah.
maybe at
Oh,
45
I
minutes,
mean,
we'll spill.
Yeah,
Happy-
not even a
yeah,
couple
love it.
drinks, like a sip, and we're like, you know who I hate in the scene? Yeah.
You know who bombed the other night?
Speaking of Brett Skiller.
Yeah, you know whose comedy is a fucking joke.
Love
No,
it.
we got it pretty lovely, but that's we were actually talking about that the other day as we just operate in a vacuum, kind of. So,
Yeah.
if
I would
we are
say
like-
you guys have the best reputation out of any
Oh no shit.
gruesome twosome. You guys are the best tag
Oh,
team right now.
Nice.
Right on.
Everybody
Fuck
likes
yeah,
you,
yeah.
so
That's fantastic. We're
Change
keeping
it.
rolling.
Well, don't
Yeah.
watch the podcast.
Yeah, definitely not.
everybody thinks you guys are nice.
There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Well, we do love everybody, but that's the thing is when we
Yeah.
haven't, if somebody hasn't gone out of their way to acknowledge us, then we will have a couple drinks and be like, "Fuck that guy," right?
Oh,
At
that's
the
so
end of the
funny.
thing, and then, well, Gavin was a fucking perfect example.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Spent 2 years talking shit about that guy. Turns out he's awesome.
Yeah.
Lovely man.
I will say there was probably like 3 days when we thought that you hated us.
Absolutely.
Those are probably 3 days where I didn't know your names.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. And I think, well, we just like, I don't know if it's like a we got to prove ourselves kind of thing too or whatever. So you're kind of walking around after that like, yeah, motherfucker, like I'm not just like dipping my toes in this thing. Like I'm kind of here. So I don't know if it's like
Yeah.
the respect of yours that we wanted or whatever, but we demanded
Yeah.
it.
Well, here's you know, because I've been doing this long enough now that oh god, that's even that sound like I was at this game for years now. But like you know, like there's like every new year there's like a new crop
Yep.
of hopefuls. And Vancouver is such a small city where there's not really enough shows that you don't see those people.
Totally.
Right,
So
yeah.
you'll be like, oh, I'm going to just do a drop-in spot at, like, the show. They're always very nice to me. And then there's, like, a first-timer who goes up and is like, oh, he's sucking a dog's dick. And you're like, okay, you don't have it.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
and I'm going to see you everywhere for 5 months.
Yeah.
And then I'm never going to see you again.
Right,
And
yeah.
then I'm going to see you in 3 years
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me you're trying it again. And then and it's going to happen to you. It happens to everybody.
Yeah,
Because
fair.
the drop-off rate is like 90%.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So you just stop. They're just not people anymore.
Well, it's interesting
You
to
just
see
are like, you don't matter.
to see how quickly like the gas kind of leaves the tank or whatever.
Yeah, because
When-
everybody's
on
a
the first
star
night.
on their
Oh, of
first
course.
show.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Everyone does a set, and then it's like, I'm
like,
gonna be the
holy
one to
shit.
change it.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Sure,
We've got
how's
a
your
Netflix
endurance?
special coming
Darcy will
down the
see you 10
pipes.
years later.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh, what's your name? Darvin Wimlish. Can't wait. That name's gonna be in everyone's lips.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Wimlish
19
up
years
in
old.
lights.
Love it. You have no perspective or anything to say. Your parents are wealthy. Can't wait.
Yeah,
This
can't wait
is
to
gonna
hear
be
all
fantastic.
about
Darvin, I cannot wait.
it.
Has there been anybody that that you've seen and kind of made that assumption that they're not going to last and has stuck around?
Everyone.
No shit.
Yeah.
Two people sitting on this couch.
Hey, hey.
Everyone. I
Yeah,
just
of course, yeah.
my neutral de facto is like
Yeah.
whatever.
Fair enough.
And then yeah, like because I long ago stopped trying to make predictions because it's people will surprise you. Like some people who they're not funny and they seem very weak, and they hold the microphone like this when they're on stage and they're just like, my grandfather told me to be good at this, and you're like, okay, and then 7 years later they'll have like a great work ethic and be just super super funny and have matured into a good comic, and it's like, oh, I wouldn't have seen that coming. And it's happened
Yeah,
enough times now
totally.
where I'm like, I don't know, life is chaos.
Yeah, well, we
Yeah,
did a
yeah.
podcast with Adam Jacobson. If you like dick jokes and dinosaurs, check
Mhm.
that guy out. He has a wealth of knowledge that will blow your
Oh
fucking
my
mind.
god, he knows so much about dinosaurs.
It was one of the
is,
most. It was the most fun
insane,
we've ever had. Right?
yeah.
Sorry, we're not gonna be talking dinosaurs today, but I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
hear that he was one of those guys that would just grind it out, and it's because I've only known him in the past a little while, and of course he's a zany fella or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But to see that people say how much he matured or how much he advanced or whatever is kind of cool you know, to see somebody keep on keeping on or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, and you're.
See that fucking
You're like,
yeah.
he used to be real zany. It's like,
Oh no, he's incredibly
still
safe.
is.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
He
yeah.
just became more of what he always was,
Yeah,
in my experience.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, when Jacobson has a good set, it's like, I have no problem with that.
Yeah. No. Oh no.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know?
Who do you have a
Nothing-
problem?
yeah,
Once
yeah, yeah.
once he got
Let's spill the
lizards,
beans.
Dive
once he
into
got lizards, I was like, do you ever want to have sex, or you're on the track? He's on the track he's on. I applaud it.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
anybody who like is clearly doing themselves, he's jacking off a lot. Anybody who's like clearly just being themselves and not trying to please anybody, I think that rules. And it seems like
Absolutely.
people
Yeah.
like Adam have always, he clearly is getting more out of stand-up than
Yeah.
than anybody could give him otherwise. So
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
like, stay on the path, man. It's,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Good stuff.
And he is pretty unapologetically himself.
He is,
we
yeah,
did-
much to the chagrin of many crowds, I
Yeah.
think. He is,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's the same thing as, you know, like back in the day when you know, LGBTQ comics were getting censored.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, they were like, oh, I just didn't talk about it because crowds wouldn't accept me. It's the same thing where it's like,
Right.
I think everybody should be themselves and just sort of let the crowd figure it out on their own,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
their own
Exactly.
accord. That's their bullshit.
Well, I think
Yeah.
there's well, just watching a bunch of people, and like you can kind of fall into that to that category pretty easily. But you see things that that a lot of people are doing, and you just make that decision. Like, I am not gonna make the same mistake that everybody is, right? Like, so
Yeah.
like when you get on stage or whatever, like the first like words that come out of your mouth are like, "Oh, so I'm a bisexual comedian," right? Or whatever. You're like, "Fucking here we go, add them to
Yeah.
the list," right? Rather than
Yeah.
maybe make the content, like maybe make them think or whatever, being like, "Oh, this was about that, this was about that," or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, tell your fucking jokes. rather
Playing
than-
with
than-
assumptions is super fun.
That's the shit, right?
Yeah. There was Darcy Michael. Have you ever watched his Comedy Now?
No.
I don't think
He's
so.
a very funny comic in Vancouver, beast of a comic. I think he has a Crave special now. Doing very
nice.
well. He's a podcast with Jane Stanton.
Oh.
Oh,
I don't know why
okay,
I'm plugging it.
okay,
I'm not. I'm
okay.
never going to do their podcast, but
it's-
I love them
It's
both.
up there. They're
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
doing
yeah,
great.
They're
ranked.
doing really well.
Yeah. But he back in the day was a way bigger dude, and he had a big beard and had like big hair and just was kind of gruff, and he was
Yeah.
just like this big kind of like almost looked like a stoner biker.
Yeah.
Would be
Yeah.
on stage like being like, yeah, you know, I got a daughter and everything, and like,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
being married and everything.
Yeah.
And then about halfway through, it'd be like, you know, my husband,
Hey.
and it would just cleave the room.
Fuck.
Right.
Because
yeah.
everybody had an assumption in
Totally.
their head of
Of
like, this is what a
course.
person's supposed to look like, and
Absolutely.
he was like, I'm gay. You don't know anything about what
Yeah,
people are supposed to look
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and it would just like snap heads back.
Yeah.
It was so funny to watch every time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's
Is he
fucking
still living in town or?
I believe so. I mean,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
you could see him around.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Give him a follow, gang.
Yeah.
Like and
Chug-
subscribe.
Google
Yeah.
him. I only say that because I've been confused for him since I started
yeah.
comedy.
Oh.
Yeah.
One time I was doing a show in Victoria, and it was like a theater show, and I'd been booked, and we did an early show, and I had like an okay set, not a great set.
Yeah.
And then there was a late show, and there was a whole family that had showed up like the moment the doors opened, like paid for tickets, very
Yeah.
excited to be there, and there was like children.
Oh,
And I was like, why are you here with children? And this was in like kind of a black box theater. And then this kid with just like stars in his eyes go, well, one of the guys has been on Just for Laughs. And instantly I knew. I was like,
Oh no.
they think it's, I was like, you're thinking of Darcy Michael. And they went, yeah. And I was like, I'm Darcy Collins. Darcy Michael's
no.
not coming here today.
Yeah.
That's a different comedian.
Yeah.
And they got up and left.
No shit.
And I was like, rather than sit through what I was like, they were so immediately like,
They were like, no.
you're telling me. And then they just went to like Boston Pizza and talked shit about me.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like-
yeah.
And then just for the next show, there was just this void of empty seats in the front row, and I was just like,
They
could have
told
been here.
everyone in town.
They
yeah,
could have been
this is
here
not
for
the
me.
same guy.
yeah. Hey everybody, you know those credits you think I have? It's awful.
Might be a good way to leverage yourself onto I mean, a couple tickets sold. I mean, that might not be the worst thing or whatever if you can bring them onto your side afterwards.
I could
but-
try a Gallagher thing
Yeah.
where I'm
there
like
you
Darcy
go.
Michael 2, and I just do his set.
Yeah,
You know?
Is there
exactly.
anybody
That's a
that
good.
we talk about this a lot. Is there anybody that you think you could do their whole set front to back?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
tons of comics, tons of comics.
Oh yeah.
I
I've
was
had
thinking
comics try to
about, like-
give me their jokes when they retire because they were like, "You're the only one that can sell them."
No shit.
I'll take it.
Just that fucking Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry, this bit is gold. They're trying to steal the bits.
Jerry,
out
come
of
on.
his-
Yeah, fully.
I was thinking that'd be a fun. Like, I mean, will it be one of those shows like you're gonna do where you just want comics in the room or whatever? But
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would be like a really fun fuck around if everybody gets
Just
to go up.
doing other
Everybody's gonna do
people's
AM or
material.
something like that. But
Yeah,
no, it'd be
exactly.
So easy.
So
Exactly,
easy,
I mean-
yeah.
Has anybody here ever spun a grand? Winning Grammys. Huh? Tim is a country western star.
Yeah.
You've seen the thing about Am Frank or whatever. That's good. We're not going to give away stuff
boy.
here, but, it's
Yeah,
fantastic.
oh.
Also, for those at home that don't know who we're talking about, you never said his name. You just said Am.
Am
Am.
Razmangat.
Yeah,
Very,
Am
very funny.
Mangat.
He's a good friend of the show.
It's
Yeah.
not just comics that watch this. There's normal people.
There
Well,
are
I
a few
mean,
normal
yeah,
people that
for
actually
those who
do
don't
watch.
know
Hello,
Am
normies.
personally,
Yeah, but they're
normies,
like the
what up,
inside baseball. You know what I
civilians?
mean? I feel
Yeah.
They love
that's
it.
the-
Yeah, they're here. They're here for this. They love this.
Yeah, definitely, right? It's a whole bullshit thing. I mean, we could get into music because I feel like you just took a shit on my eardrums this morning, giving me a
Yeah, this
Randy. I mean,
fucking
I'm not.
album.
What are you
I
talking
didn't-
about?
I did not like it.
Eat-
but
eat
it
shit,
blew-
both of you.
It blew me away of how somber this fucking album is.
It's not. It's hilarious.
It is.
A lot of parallels
He's the
between this
sharpest.
and your comedy.
He's the sharpest satire. He's the sharpest satirist of our times. And everybody fucking. And I mean, I love Warren Zevon. We're getting into it now because how dare you?
Okay,
Everybody.
Boom Boom
Let's
Bancini
get
fighting Bobby
into it.
Chacon. Like, I'll fuck with you for some
Yeah.
Warren Zevon.
Everybody goes down on Warren Zevon and slobs his knob, and he's phenomenal. I
Yeah.
love Warren
Okay.
Zevon. And then they roll their eyes when I bring up Randy Newman, and they are absolutely in the same
I
field.
thought that you were
Okay.
fucking with us. Like,
I
thought
know
were
you
gonna
did.
cut-
You're like, I
You
feel like
are
I'm walking into
certain
something.
that this is a bit.
Bad Love is such a good album too.
By
That
the way,
was
for the
Okay.
listener, today's album
Yeah,
is Bad
Bad
Love by
Love.
Randy Newman.
1999's hit of the year, Bad Love. So he had won an Oscar for Toy Story.
Right.
Friend of Me and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got a friend of me.
Yes,
Biggest
classic.
fucking song of his career.
Oh,
Of
absolutely.
course.
So
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he'd won a ton of awards for numerous film production and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He'd made a bunch of music. He was an old man.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
was a time in his life and career where he was just like he had no one to impress anymore. So he just scraped together a bunch of songs
Mm-hmm.
and a bunch of things he'd written over the years, wrote some new stuff, slapped it on this album. If he died the day after it came out, that would have been the best summary of who he was and what he was about. It is such an amazing expression of him as a creator and an artist. And also a beautiful album because it switches from like cartoonishly funny, like it's so silly.
There's
and-
some stuff on Shame that I was laughing out loud. Like,
Shame is
sitting
so funny.
down,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that was.
Shame, I'll kill you, you little bitch. I'm just kidding. Like Shame is written. Shame is written from the perspective of a sugar daddy. It's so
Okay.
funny.
Right, yeah, yeah,
Like that,
yeah.
it's so good. And then there will be a very sincere love song. I think "Losing You" was about his ex-wife, and he wrote that while he had another wife, like a new wife. And then I watched an interview with that, and then they were like, "How did your current wife feel about that?" He was like, "I write what I write." And I was like, "Love it, love an artist that will burn his personal life down
yeah.
for art."
Of course.
And he was like, I write what I write. She has to deal with it. He wrote this beautiful love song about his ex-wife. And then I Want Everyone to Like Me is, I think, the song I want to play at my funeral.
That was
That-
that
yeah,
stuck.
that's
I mean, it was
quite the-
definitely
yeah.
like
Hilarious.
It put a stamp at the end of the album. That
I
there
want
was something
everyone.
Yeah, it was definitely
To like
relatable.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who can't relate to that?
That is definitely like a comic song.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he just describes a lovely life, and it's just like, this is what I wanted a life. And it's like, don't we all?
Yeah.
Where
exactly.
do you? I stay so wrapped up in fucking music for whatever identity that I found through it or whatever, through like genre specific shit or whatever. Like I'm still like in trapped in my, what I found when I was like 16 or whatever, right?
So what
Where
would,
do you?
what
I
would
would
that
like
be?
punk rock and hip hop or whatever. Probably like the two that I kind of stay in. And
Right.
when like doing the show, the fun part of it is that Jackie gets to bring in like classic rock, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh, the
yeah.
Rolling Stones, huh? Fascinating.
I've had a little bit of that as well.
Yeah?
I was a metal kid
Okay.
all through my teen years. Because I was just white and angry and in the woods of BC, just like no one gets me but In Flames, and it was like it was all I had.
Yeah.
And then like through
And
that.
then you find Randy fucking Newman. Like, where was
Yeah,
the like
where-
where like
how
that's
did
what I'm
he-
just trying to put together.
How
like,
did he come into your
I mean,
life?
like, were you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
in
yeah.
like a dusty used CD section, and you know you're digging through the crates, and you find Newman, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is gonna change my life.
This is the one.
I found him probably about 6 years ago, but definitely post stand up. Which is another thing that I've always said, stand up enriched my life. I would have been an incel. I probably would have been an alt-right person had I not started stand up, because I was just sitting on the computer angry at women, just being like, they owe me. I was nice to them and they owe me. And then like stand up just forced me to interact with everyone in the world.
Totally.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I couldn't have, my notions of how the world was and how people were supposed to be was completely changed. Not for the better. I'm still very cynical, but yeah. So I was always a metal kid, and I still do love metal.
Yeah.
But I started to get into folk and classical, and I'm a real. I think I don't like hip hop, and people get really offended if you say that nowadays, because hip hop is like such a dominant genre, and it's.
Yeah,
I think it's really
Yeah,
sort of
but
like
I mean, it's
exploded.
different. Like, I'm kind of an
Yeah.
asshole too. Like, I feel like I'm like just like 31. All of a sudden, I'm like the old head and shit, because whatever the fuck this like Kanye and
Donda
and Drake
sucks.
thing-
Can I say that?
Oh,
Yes, Donda's
Donda
dog
sucks, dude.
CLB's fucking
Donda.
stupid too.
Donda,
Fuck
Donda,
Donda.
Donda, Donda.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Nita.
But, I mean, we were drunk in a cab coming home last night, and AZ, so Nas, famously put out Illmatic was his first album that he put out. 10 songs on it. The only feature on that album is a guy named AZ, and I think one of the most unsung, underrated artists of that genre, of that time, kind of like early 90s New York hip hop.
Love it.
Dropped a fucking album yesterday, and I am all over this shit, and I'm like fanboning for it, right? But I just don't like
It rules. Like
it's fucking awesome.
Love
But
it.
it's the stuff that I like, because it's the sound. It's
Yeah.
boom bap. It's like there's a different kind of sound of like classic hip hop or whatever, different from what it is now. It's almost like R&B vibe shit.
Yeah.
Maybe,
yeah,
but I
it's
like.
more
It sounds like this dude has just been honing his sword, to use a Wu-Tang terminology.
100%.
He spent all that time getting the
Yeah.
best at what he does.
Absolutely, right?
yeah.
And that's kind of the like. So some artists can grow and you can appreciate that or whatever. But like even fucking Anti-Flag, like I know that what I'm gonna get when that band puts an album out, because it's like you're saying, it's just kind of like
Yeah.
staying in there,
When it's like
They're
the new
like,
album
yeah.
from Fugazi, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I wonder what they're upset about now. Is it Trump and rent? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know
Right.
it is. Anybody interested in Fugazi can check out Ian McKay's new band Corky. Fantastic, just came out last year.
There we go.
I love Fugazi. Don't get me wrong.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think like my entry was definitely metal, and then I got really into hardcore, and I really like metal. I liked the music and I liked the intensity of it. I liked how the little autist in me could just sit there, and I like drums.
Totally.
Right.
I'm
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
insane
yeah.
about drums.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I liked metal for how intense the drums were, and just the momentum of it. And then
What umbrella of hardcore did you fall into? Like I was on like the punk side, like Black Flag, and
Yeah,
all that
I
kind of stuff,
really
yeah.
I have nothing but respect for Black Flag. I really liked the philosophy of hardcore. So you remember Have Heart?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure,
like
yeah.
I liked a lot of the straight edge guys.
Okay, yeah.
I thought the people that really walked the walk and really were clearly doing what they were preaching, I really
Yes.
respected that. And it was one of those things where like the philosophy of it I thought was really, really neat, of kind of living the Spartan lifestyle and everything.
Totally.
I didn't. I just ate whatever I wanted and was like, "Fuck it, the environment's gonna burn." But I respected it from afar.
Absolutely. Yeah, I never
Yeah,
drew the
yeah.
X's on my hands and shit.
No,
but
God,
I appreciate what you're doing out there.
To be
brother.
honest, anytime I saw a dude with an X on his hand, I was like, "So you just want everyone to think that you're deep? Get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here." Eat shit, man. It's like 2007. Like,
Well, I didn't even realize that was the thing. I went to like a bunch of shows down in the States and stuff, and they just did that. Like some shows are just like all ages venues, but they put
Yeah.
the thing on this just so like
that's
not
how
to serve
Minor
them.
Threat
Right.
started.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So I just had no idea there was just like that was the thing. And if you go and you meet a lot of those people that are kind of like practice what you preach and shit, some of them are great. Some of those shows have been some of the most aggressive,
Yeah.
non-welcoming environments
yeah.
that I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
as well too. Right. So it's interesting which city or which like kind of scene kind of pushes whatever of their hardcore beliefs kind of forward or whatever. Like the DC stuff is very different from the LA stuff
and the Boston
everything.
stuff.
Dude, yeah, this is Boston, not LA. Is fucking
yeah, dude. Like
aggressive guys in a 7-Eleven parking lot.
And the places that were like Nazi punks, fuck off.
Yes.
The places that were like we're also sort of Nazis.
Yeah,
It really is. Yeah, like Alberta had a huge hardcore explosion, and I know that there was a real big problem with like white supremacists being like, we're also into this, and then locals being like, get the fuck out of here.
Totally.
Yeah, like it's a constant thing when the music is that intense and the philosophy is that like coded into it.
Totally.
That I think it leads to very intense people.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, this is not funny at all.
We were talking about that with
man,
Sean,
this is
though,
the life experience, okay? This is the whole thing, right? We can be vulnerable here. We can be funny. You can fucking you can take a
just
shit
bare your soul
on the floor right now. It's all good.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
That's fine.
Let me hide behind Randy Newman's
Yeah.
silly witticisms. Let me hide behind a 67-year-old man being like, nobody knows anything about nothing. Dude, he rules so hard. And that's the thing. So when talking about philosophy and like what, like getting into hardcore, and I promise that there is a trajectory, but getting into hardcore and like Converge is a huge band. I fucking love Converge.
I just played Jackie some Jane Doe the other day.
Oh.
My best friend has like the bird splat fucking thing tattooed across his chest, the Jane Doe artwork.
It's one of those ones where
stuff like that.
I'll see the artwork for All We Love We Leave Behind like on someone's arm, and I'm just like, because they are just like, I cannot picture a more groundbreaking band in a genre that nobody was really looking at, and then they changed everything. Everything sounded like them after Jane Doe.
Oh, dude,
like just.
Well, you know what's funny is that like that's because like I don't really like the band. You know what I mean?
God,
There's a lot
love
of it. Yeah, exactly. But
drums. That's a drum heavy band.
They're fucking insane. The first time I listened to them, I think what I had said was it looks like 4 really good musicians just played 4 different songs in the fucking studio together.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was wild. But
initially, they were sort of.
I did see them live at the Rickshaw, and it changed my whole fucking opinion of that band.
Never seen them. I've wanted to. I've never had a chance to.
They'll put your dick in the dirt, man. That band can fucking rip.
Oh my god, yeah, and like I love it. They're one of those bands that when you look into what every member of them is kind of doing, they're also all artists.
Yeah,
and they all do incredible work on the side.
What's Jacob Bannon or whatever? Like
Jacob Bannon, the vocalist. Yeah, he's also like an MMA guy too.
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
yeah,
really?
like he's really well respected in like the East Coast jiu-jitsu scene. Yeah, because he was a skate kid who injured himself, so he couldn't skate anymore. And then he started and then he was in Converge, and then he like had some time off from Converge, and then he started jiu-jitsu. Now he's apparently very good at jiu-jitsu. It's like he's one of those guys where you're like, oh, is there anything you're not cool at doing?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Here's me writing my poetry, and you're like, oh, it makes me feel. It's so good. He's and then from them, another obsession of mine is The Armed. Who I think not enough people know The Armed.
No, like I've seen the names on posters, little T-shirt here and there, whatever. Never listened to the band.
So they are. I mean, I should have made this whole podcast about them, but they're like the equivalent of like, remember when MF Doom would like book shows and then like not MF Doom would show up?
Yeah.
They're that, but for hardcore.
No shit.
Right.
Nobody knows who's in them. Nobody knows where they're getting their backing from. Like they're constantly putting out new music. They clearly have like some real heavy hitters. People think that they're like an art project. Like they definitely have something to do with the drummer from The Armed, but no one's 100% sure. Like their lineup is constantly shifting. Sometimes it'll just be a bunch of dudes in ghillie suits. Like nobody knows what they are. And I love their music. From the moment I heard them, I was like, this is exactly what I'm all about. And their whole thing is like, it's about the music, not about the band. People sort of like idolize musicians maybe more than they should, when they should just be like trying to get into the music.
Right.
And they just put out a new album that just fucking rules, shreds. What's it fucking called again? I was listening to it like on the way here. Ultra Pop.
Okay.
Ultra Pop is great. Only Love was great. Self-titled is great. They are so good. Untitled.
I'll have to, give it a
definitely.
listen.
And but like heavy, like
heavy.
Like
heavy, but very art house.
Okay.
You know, they're from Detroit, which I also
fantastic.
I love the Black Dahlia Murder, also from Detroit.
Sure, yeah.
I love for some reason I love Detroit.
Is that right?
I don't know why.
Like, I mean, as far as bands
like
come
a
there,
Detroit boy.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, I love Evil Dead. I love Black Dahlia Murder. Anything from Detroit. I'm always like,
because like there's bands like Minneapolis for me for whatever reason, like the Replacements and Dillinger 4, and like there's so many bands that like come from that thing. But I think Death is the only band that I know that came from but the old 1970s Death.
Yeah,
You see
yeah.
that
Oh,
thing
yeah.
or whatever, right? Like that For All the World to See, like that shit was awesome.
think-
But I don't know of any.
I think their drummer's grandson or son is now the drummer for the Armed.
Get the
Oh,
fuck out of
shit.
here. Okay.
Yeah,
Damn.
he's a young, very good drummer too.
Was that the kid in the documentary that was just like at some punk
Probably.
venue or whatever?
I actually haven't seen the documentary. I heard it was great.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm not going to spoil the whole thing for you because definitely watch it. But there's just a moment where this kid is in, he moved from Detroit out to LA, and he's at some club where a DJ is just spinning like old punk 45s. And apparently there was just one sought after one, Death, and I think it's got Freaking Out on it and Politicians in My Eyes, I think. So he recognizes his dad's voice on the song. And his dad was in a reggae band by this point, like 20 years later or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So he has to go home and he tells the DJ, like, I'm pretty sure that's my dad. And the guy's like, fuck that. There's only like 500 of these made. Like, no way. Nobody knows who these guys are. So he
Yeah.
goes home and he calls it. He's like, Dad, were you in a punk band in the 70s or
Yeah.
whatever, before punk rock was even a thing? Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. It's fantastic.
Damn,
Wow.
that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
and then he had all the masters in the attic upstairs, and just like the whole resurgence came from that.
I think that guy's a drummer now,
That's awesome.
and he's in the Armed. I'm
Interesting.
pretty sure. Yeah, the great. Yeah,
Damn,
I love
that's
that
cool.
too. Anytime you get to go back, like the 70s was such an explosion of modern music. Like, I was just listening to, and this is, I will say, like Spotify, worst thing for musicians.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It sort of replaced the record store,
Yeah.
where I find so much great music from Spotify now, and I feel
Yeah.
bad doing
Yeah.
it.
I know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
But
It's
they're
just
like, if
so
you like this,
convenient,
yeah.
Well, there's something about
yeah.
it. Like I don't know if it's like a money thing or like a time thing or whatever it is, but I spent so much of my childhood just digging through like crates and records, and I've amassed all this fucking shit that I have, but
Yeah.
I don't get the. Like I don't get this. I don't get jazzed about buying a $35 record anymore when I have a
Yeah,
$10
it kinda
Spotify
just
subscription
sucks,
and I
yeah.
feel like shit because of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the world's going to end and the internet's going to collapse, and it's going to be the equivalent of like the burning of the Library of Alexandria, where we're going to lose all of our knowledge. So I do think you should get as much physical art as you can.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't want a new copy of the Beatles' White Album.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I don't care. It's $48. It's too much.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly. Records are so fucking expensive.
It's such a
now,
dumb
too, unless
subculture,
they're-
too.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah,
like
yeah.
people that are hoity-toity about it, it's like, okay, like your
I
whole thing
know.
is based on.
Yeah, I always feel kind of silly. Like we go to record stores sometimes, literally just because when we do solo podcasts, we have like the album behind us.
Yeah.
And so we kind of just go out just to get them for the podcast. And I always feel kind of like silly in a record store,
Totally.
just like going through it, and you're surrounded by like middle-aged men, just like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same
Uh.
the same feel as it did when I was like actually discovering something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I remember like finding like Mobb Deep's The Infamous when I'm like 14 and everybody's like listens to Tupac and think you're not allowed to listen to Biggie and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
that was the thing, and I'm like, well, this says like East Coast. I don't know. These guys are wearing Timberlands. This should be cool. One of the greatest fucking albums of all time or whatever. And then like there's been so many of those moments, but now that I have a $10 Spotify subscription, like, am I gonna buy Offspring Smash again on whatever fucking like
Yeah,
new physical thing? I own it
exactly,
on
yeah.
fucking tape and vinyl.
The
and
saving
shit.
grace is there's some music that isn't on Spotify for whatever reason.
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
get to kind of have that, like, oh, I should hunt for this. But
Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
And there is
Yeah.
some shit that like when you do find a physical copy, like I've reached out to like a DJ in in Minneapolis for this one thing. There's Sino Species was this fucking one album put out by POS and some other guy where it was fucking amazing. I love that goddamn record, and I had to like reach out to the guy that made it, and he's like, I think I have like a copy of it kicking around or whatever, and then like
Wow.
mailed it to me and shit. Like that is those are the things.
Yeah.
That, like,
yeah,
like the hunt,
yeah.
you
That
Shit
know?
rules.
like that is cool still.
Yeah.
But like going to a record store and buying, like a $40 record from
Yeah.
like an
A
album.
fucking used copy of Led Zeppelin 1, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, or even like an album that came out in like 2020, but they've pressed vinyl for it for some reason and they're selling it for $40. It's like,
Yeah.
why? Why would
I
I,
bought-
read
Katy
this?
Perry.
Yeah.
I bought a limited edition run of the Arms new album.
Hey, we've all
I don't-
done it.
I don't have a
Yeah.
record player. I just was like, I just want to
Yeah.
know. I just want to have it.
Yeah, I mean, I have plenty of them. Like
Yeah.
I spend,
absolutely.
still spend stupid.
It just
amount of
sounds
money
better
on
on vinyl, you know?
Yeah,
it
it's
just
just like
sounds
the
better.
cracks in the
Something
pots are
warmer
just-
about it. I
yeah.
did. I was looking at the distillers, and they had a should I get the black record or should I get the color one? For I've the 10-minute decision.
Yeah.
Which one says me?
Yeah.
Just identify or just to find myself with song lyrics and stupid shit or whatever that.
Oh, getting them tattooed on your body?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh god. When I was in high school, I wanted to get the Coheed and Cambria. Do you guys know Coheed and Cambria?
I know the band they did get into them.
I like prog a lot as well.
Sure.
Drums. I like drums.
Fuck yeah.
I'm an autist. I like I wanted to get the Coheed and Cambria pyramid, and I was like, I'm gonna do it when I was 15. And then my parents were like, not until you're 18. When I was 18, I was like, thank God you didn't do that. Because then they put out a couple albums that weren't that great, and then I think the bassist got arrested for
No.
broke into a pharmacy to steal drugs, and I was just thank God I didn't immortalize them. They're still good. I still like Coheed plenty, but definitely not as much as I did.
Yeah.
When I was reading the comics and being like, Claudio Sanchez gets me. Now it's power to him. Great band. Great live show too.
Well, I think that's
really good live show.
If they can keep coming back, there's a lot of bands that I don't know, 30 years in the game or whatever. The new shit that you're going to put out is not going to get me as much as your 1994 album, obviously. But
Randy Newman.
You can still if you can still rip, Bad Religion, Randy Newman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll catch me. The same umbrella.
Yeah, absolutely.
He put out Dark Matter in I think it was 2018 or something. It's got a diss track on Putin.
Get out of here.
Yeah, dude. That's okay. That's another
awesome.
thing that I want to talk about. So we
You're
went all the way.
a couple Newman fans over here.
Yeah.
Huh?
We went all the way around. So 1999's Bad Love, as I was the album that this whole thing is about.
Yeah.
So that what came out at a time that he had no one to impress anymore. He was just making art for himself, and that was the first, I think, perfect album of just fuck it. So I'm dead and I don't know it.
Yeah.
If you listen to that one, that is a scathing diss track to all of these ancient geriatric bands who are still going on tour.
Oh my God.
That whole song was
That's
about
so
Led
funny.
Zeppelin being like, we're still here, and he was just retire,
That's
it's over,
so
it's
fucking
done.
funny. Oh
that
my
whole
God.
song, I'm dead and I don't know it. He's dead, he's dead. That whole
my
song is just
God.
being give up, it's over. Let the young kids have fun now.
No
That's
shit.
so
Get off the
fucking
fucking
funny.
stage, old man.
Yeah,
Which,
It's
what a
so good,
amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We've talked about that when we had Sean on here, and he brought in Metallica, and we were talking about that. It's kind of depressing.
I've
seeing them,
always, and this is the hottest take I probably have. I don't like Metallica. I never have, and I definitely never will.
In the trash,
From the moment I heard it, I was just this is just we're so tough. Have you seen how tough we are? We all have dogs. It's just okay. They're so rich. Nothing about them is cool.
Yeah,
They were counterculture in the 80s, and
Yeah.
then by the time I was online in the 2000s,
Totally.
I was
Yeah.
who the fuck are these old
Old
men
guys.
being
Yeah.
stop downloading? And then you have all these kids being no one's cooler than Metallica, and it was have you heard Converge?
No shit.
There's
Exactly.
so much
Yeah,
better
yeah.
music by way smarter dudes who are way better at music. And they're Saint Anger. Ooh, look out. Here comes the angry old men.
yeah.
It's just you just hear it blasting out of sports cars by a man with a midlife crisis happening in real time.
Yeah, well, it was
Totally,
weird
yeah,
that
yeah.
anybody for
Just
that
I'm a
shit-
stepdad and I don't like my kids.
Well, there's 5 bands that all of those fucking dudes for whatever reason latched onto.
Yeah.
And didn't listen
AC/DC.
to anything else as far as heavy music.
AC/DC, Metallica, who are the
Pantera,
others? Pantera,
Slayer.
Slayer.
Slayer is in the. I would argue that.
Even Pantera and Slayer. I mean, I get a little
they
bit.
have some good shit, but they.
I get a little bit sick of the Pantera cult around Dimebag Darrell, that he was the greatest musician that the world was robbed of. It's he didn't have anything more in him.
No, that's true. but
Dimebag didn't. He wasn't sitting on the greatest hit ever.
for a 3-piece though, other than Phil, I will give him credit because there's a lot of
Walk
metal
is-
bands that have fucking a rhythm section or whatever.
Yeah.
He did more with on his own than a lot of people did with 2.
I
But
think
will
Walk
give
is
him
one of the
that.
greatest songs of all time.
The fucking
Right, yeah,
the
yeah.
gnarliest
Easily.
riff of
Yeah.
all time.
It's
Yeah,
just
for
it's
sure.
so good.
And the solo in Cemetery Gates too. There's
yeah,
there's some.
I like Pantera. I will stand up for Pantera and Slayer.
Yep.
if anybody's ever like, oh, you're a metal guy, like, have you seen my bullet belt and
Oh my
Slayer
God.
shirt?
Yeah,
I'll
fucking skin tight white jeans.
Yeah.
yeah.
my hair is dyed and very dead. I'll talk to them about. I'll be like, okay, Slayer and Pantera rule.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's one more. There's got to be one more.
Well, I mean, Anthrax gets thrown into the mix, but like nobody
I feel
actually
like
listens.
no one
nobody
listens.
to the
Everyone
band.
just thought they were a cool aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
think they hit a good logo and
Fully.
and they went. But I think like Metallica and Megadeth for sure. Pantera, Slayer, like I would
Megadeth
probably
as well.
say-
Megadeth had Iron Maiden as well.
and Maiden too.
Iron
yeah.
Maiden, so many people have Iron Maiden shirts
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the Trooper.
Totally.
And then, you're like, what song? Like, Run to the Hills. And you're like, great song. Do you know any others? They're like,
Like they have of
to
their
the hills
extensive
we will run.
catalog of like fucking 1,000 goddamn songs.
they've put out so much goddamn music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like very fucking great live show. If you go and see them, they're fucking still got the long hair, but like the hair is receding, so it's a
Oh
full
my
skull.
God.
And then
Great look,
fucking
great
Eddie
look.
is
Yeah.
like an Aztec. So they got this Aztec temple set up at fucking Rogers Arena. And 20-foot Eddie comes out, and Bruce is like runs to the top of this fucking pyramid and pulls the heart out of his fucking chest, and like blood's raining down on
That
the fucking
rules.
guitar player. It was awesome.
Yeah, that'd be
But
sick.
like that, and like Alice Cooper, like for the stage show and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's more theatric than like just like tough guy.
Isn't
fucking
Alice
metal.
Cooper, isn't he a Trump guy?
I have no idea, but he's just like I'm 18 is like that hit me when I was 18. Still the greatest rock and roll
I
song.
feel like
Right.
I would be surprised if he was a Trump guy. I feel like he's kind of.
He's a golf guy. Don't trust the man that plays too much
Don't
golf.
trust
Very
no,
true.
Alice
That's
Cooper is Alice Cooper, but the man playing Alice Cooper, I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he makes
I
it
feel
very.
like
He
he's
speaks
kinda
about Alice in the
progressive.
third person and shit like
That's
that.
true.
He
Like, I don't
does.
know who that
He's a
man
bit
Well, I
is.
mean, the
older,
character of
yeah.
Alice Cooper has been dead for many, many years. Alice
Yeah.
Cooper, the golf man,
Yeah.
who will
The
appear on
golfer, yeah.
any podcast about music, or we're making a documentary about metal. Here he is, and he's like, "It's me."
Yeah,
Oh, here's
yeah.
the oldest man of all time wearing
Yeah.
makeup.
Hey, that's an open invitation to Alice.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on the
come
show.
Get on
show
here,
me
Alice.
yours, Yeah.
We think that Trump is interesting.
Very. Yeah.
I think he's a Trump guy. I think he is. Maybe he's not. Also,
Maybe.
fucking Sid Vicious is a Trump guy.
Really?
Sid Vicious
Yeah.
died a very
Damn.
long time ago. Oh, like the wrestler?
No, who am I thinking of?
Yeah, Sid
Yeah.
Vicious
No, not
died
Sid-
of in the
Yeah.
Chelsea
No,
hotel.
who's the lead singer? What's
Oh, Johnny Rotten.
Johnny Rotten's Trump
Oh,
guy?
shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Sid
like,
Vicious would be a Trump guy.
I-
If he was still around,
yeah,
he would have been.
I don't. I like the. It's so funny. Like the punk. Like people look at him like he's a fucking icon. He got the job to sing. For the Sex Pistols by basically doing a karaoke version of Alice Cooper's "I'm 18," full
course.
circle to that.
Yeah.
But then fucking after like Nevermind the Bollocks comes out, have you ever listened to Public Image Limited?
No.
Sucks. Post punk is fucking garbage. Echo and the Bunnymen can lick my whole asshole. It's
So post punk is a genre.
apparently.
I really like Alexis on Fire. I think
Alexis on Fire is
they're
a punk
post
band.
hardcore.
They're post hardcore
Yeah,
for
yeah.
They're
sure.
post hardcore.
I think-
I like
This
a
is
lot of
44
post.
44 Caliber fucking love letter straight from my heart. I fucking loved that bullshit.
It's so
It was
emo,
good.
dude.
It was
I thought
awesome.
they matured really well.
I think they did
I
too.
think there is
Yeah.
a-
Yeah, and interestingly enough, Newfound Glory put out a hardcore album that's actually quite good.
I was looking at them like 2 days ago.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I remember at the time they're for some reason the most pop punk of all the pop
for
punks.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Some
They were-
girls are crazy.
Yeah, just bip, 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 we're all 30. And then now you look at them and they're like 60 and they're like, what? It's like, well, the glory you found's not that new anymore, but keep
it's
going.
not-
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. I don't know. Like I hated pop punk at the time. I still hate it now, but
Oh, I'm a
I
big fan.
I respect the people that stuck to their guns on it.
Yep.
You know what? I remember Good Charlotte brought fucking Avenged Sevenfold down with them.
No shit.
Yeah.
Remember, they became a gruesome twosome. Like Avenged Sevenfold and Good Charlotte, for some reason, became best friends.
Really?
And then they made a terrible song together that, like, Benji, because remember Good Charlotte was huge.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
massive,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like baptized in a and then the Avenged Sevenfold guy would be like, it's like, oh, this is not working. And the Avenged Sevenfold, that was a band that they were so cool when they were young, and they got not fun for me.
Yeah.
I
think-
like-
yeah,
I hope
there's a
they're
bad,
all
like,
happy.
They just don't age that well, right?
They
I
didn't
mean, there's
age
some
well.
fucking
Yeah.
like when you come in like that aggressive with like, and not. I don't know. They didn't appeal to like the core. You'd think, right? As soon as like they blew up a little bit bigger, they got too big for their own britches or something.
They
like
were
that. And then I think
very hot topic-y.
It was like exactly. It was a
Yeah.
Metallica
Yeah.
thing where the fucking like the fans spoil the band or whatever. Well, no, the band spoil. That's a bad. Fucking
Well, they were
Yeah.
like they were ready to sign any contract anyone threw at them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then-
yeah.
Like they had like merch out like the Misfits after like 2 fucking records and shit.
Yeah.
You're like
Yeah.
these guys are fucking everywhere.
Misfits though. I mean, what are our thoughts on Misfits?
I
like Danzig. He's an idiot.
Fucking, like Walk Among Us is the shit, right? But like so that's the thing. So if you hate
Halloween,
all
great
Metallica
tune.
all the way through, I love pockets of the Misfits.
Same,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Yeah. So like Walk Among Us. There was some Michael Graves stuff that I was really into. Michael Graves, fucking Trump dickhead too.
Yeah, of course.
But
I
as soon
didn't
as
like
Jerry
once-
Only started fucking singing for him and shit. There's
Yeah.
a lot of bad Misfits music.
Well, he's the Born Again one, isn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So like
So he's like, we're a
can't, like-
sci-fi band. Like, what?
What? What is that?
Yeah, he's like,
yeah.
no Satanism here. It's all aliens.
Yeah, yeah.
What? He was like, yeah, that skull, that's a Martian.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
yeah, I did jump at the opportunity to go see them live, but then something happened. I couldn't go. So my little sister has this. I just raised my little sister like up to like just be like punk as fuck, and she's like way cooler than I am now. So of course she's like 19 or something. Or no, sorry, she just turned 21. So they were in Seattle or whatever, and I had to back out. So she has like a cool Misfit story that she gets to, okay. But I've never missed it.
Never seen him. Miss the Misfits.
Missed the fits.
I was I thought Danzig's run was pretty good on that one, and I've like retroactively gotten into them. I think because I avoided them for so long.
Sure. Yeah.
Because there was a kid that was I used to play football with him, and he loved the Misfits, and he was super racist. So it was one of those ones where I was always a little bit like kind of wary of him.
Does that come with the
Yeah.
band?
Where I was like, something about them attracting you and that other thing that you're attracted to. Just,
It must be the armbands or something like that. I don't know what their deal is.
it
but-
was
The
the
armbands,
shirtless
yeah.
or the
Yeah,
sleeveless shirt and the skull kind of sent the message.
Oh,
yeah,
totally.
yeah.
None of them on this block. All right.
There's just a lot of crossover.
Yeah. Also, call back to where we're from, Couch and Bulldogs. They had a.
Hey, I'm rocking the Dunkin' merch.
You
for
are
this.
Dunkin'
Yeah,
Lager.
Yeah,
I guess I
yeah.
sort of am too. Hell yeah. God, we could talk local Dunkin' bands.
Oh yeah.
Is there local Dunkin' bands? What's the scene like over there?
Victoria's got a
Small
good
town
one.
on Vancouver Island, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. It's town
Yeah,
of totems
yeah.
and shit.
Check
City
it
of
out.
Totems.
I was there.
Check it out.
Dunkin'.
It was
Check
fun.
it out.
Book a flight.
Yeah, fuck. Drive right through. It's 5 minutes from root to tip.
Yeah. Yeah. Most people think it's just all the way through, but it actually goes this way too.
yeah.
There's a main street that you don't get to if you don't get off the highway. A lot of people don't know
Yeah,
that.
it's a nice, quaint little downtown core there.
Super cute downtown
yeah,
core.
super cute.
They have a sushi restaurant, just one.
Oh yeah, they have Island Bagel. Worked there for 3 years.
Ooh,
yeah,
they're
great
good.
bagels.
Fascinating
Great bagels.
stuff.
Really tasty.
They are quite tasty. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
great,
bagels, yeah.
great fertile bed for metal.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
people
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Corn was huge in Duncan.
Fucking right they were.
Corn was massive.
How many Umbapaditas like?
Yeah.
Somebody got Island bagel. Pop.
Yeah.
My buddy that was the Converge fan. I think was that last night. Shithoused in the back of the cab, and I played
Yeah.
Twist for Jackie.
Yeah,
on my
that's
Oh,
phone.
that's
God.
right. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Freak on a Leash. The music video was so iconic, but it's like I've described it on stage to like, whenever there's young people, I love just being like, do you guys know Korn? And they're like, not really. Like, did you do a song with Skrillex? And I'm like, love to hear it. Yeah. You need to know how cool it was when I was like 9 years old and my parents were like, I don't want you watching this music video. And you're like, I'm going to do it. And you turn on Much Music and then you see an anime intro, like the most like cool music
Todd
you've ever
McFarlane
seen.
fucking
Todd
animated, so
McFarlane,
dope.
also weirdly Canadian as well.
Fuck yeah.
He has Duncan roots. He
shit.
he started
nice.
Spawn with a dude from Duncan.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
And then,
a lot of talented people coming out of Duncan.
Mac DeMarco?
Yeah. My friend has a funny Mac DeMarco story where he like showed up at a party and just like got up drank all of the beer, then stood up on the coffee table and just pissed everywhere.
Why does everyone have a story like that?
Right? Of him like peeing everywhere.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
times has this guy done
When
that?
I
I've
was-
heard other people
Yeah.
tell those
I've
stories.
I've seen him live, and when I saw him, his fucking guitar player pissed on the stage.
What a weird.
Yeah, into water sports. Hey,
Yeah.
shout out to Mac DeMarco.
I was trying to think of the scientific term for like urology and your water sports. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, Freak on a Leash. Todd McFarlane intro, and then a bullet rips through a scene, and then Jonathan Davis scats at it, and then goes, go! And then the bullet goes back, rips away, and then it's like, that's the ultimate superpower.
It was that shit shook the fucking ground. Not only that one with like that entire album, Follow the Leader. My stepdad got it from a friend, like sending him CDs. Like this is the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So he just got I remember this box of CDs came in, and buddy's like, you got to check these things out. And he just looked at that and was like, oh, that's an interesting album cover. Didn't do it, but I knew. Seeing that.
That's the future.
Wait a minute. There's something in here. And then all of a sudden you're listening to All in the Family with Fred Durst halfway through. Remember that shit or whatever?
Oh yeah, dude.
And I'll suck you. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Holy shit.
I also I was limping with the biscuit
Got
too.
the Life and stuff like that. Man, dude, that was
hardcore limping
I
with the
wanted
biscuit.
significant other and my mom. I had to fight with my mom to get the CD and everything like that. Oh, it was a whole thing.
Love it.
Did you see Limp Bizkit's Lollapalooza performance? Just
Like
recently?
a recent one?
Fucking awesome.
Did they get people to surf on doors again?
Nope.
It didn't
Fred
go
Durst was in,
Woodstock
Fred Durst
'99?
looked like he he was in the Beastie Boys not Sabotage video. What was the one where they're dressed like the 70s and shit like that? Almost like a really shitty. I don't know if it has to be a wig, right? And glasses, and he's just kind of doing this cool guy vibe.
He's super weird now.
It was great. It was a fantastic performance. My buddy was over here.
Did you listen
tripping
to
on acid and he put it on? And I was like, this, Wes Borland still wearing a mask and makeup and shit like that.
Good for
I
him.
really enjoyed it. I
Good for
really
him.
enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess
I think,
Marilyn Manson's canceled, so Wes Borland's schedule is wide open again.
Yeah.
So I guess he's like, all right,
Picking
yeah,
up
I
the
guess I'll
slack.
do this again.
What happened with the Manson? Did he?
There's a bunch of allegations against him of him being abusive and it's almost like some R. Kelly shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who would have seen it coming?
Yeah. Totally
gonna do?
unpredictable that one. Yeah.
He got so much props for being just a reasonable person on Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Thought he was a
Yeah.
genius or something. After that, be no, he's just a reasonable person.
He
or
seemed like he
Yeah.
was probably a good hang, but
Yeah, sure.
if
I'm
you're a
sure.
man,
I
if
was
you're a
gonna
woman,
say,
maybe it
yeah.
wasn't as good of a hang.
Totally.
Sounds like it.
There's
Yeah.
there's a crazy fucking.
still a hang,
There's
but
crazy
it's
stories
Still a
like
hang, but
Marilyn Manson, Johnny Depp, and Doug Stanhope are friends. And there's stories
really?
of the three of them hanging out. And I would like to be a fly on the wall for that.
He showed up at one of Kanye's dozen screening events he had for Donda. Marilyn Manson was there, but he
Just
was
hanging out? Was he
completely
on the album?
makeupless, and so he looked like Alan Rickman.
he does,
Snape.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sans makeup, he does sort of look there,
like
hello.
the long face. Yeah.
He's just not aging
Jowly.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, what could you really expect? But are we gonna miss him? Are we gonna miss the Manson?
He'll be back.
Yeah, I'm
You
sure.
think
I'm
his
sure he'll
fan
make
base gives a
return.
shit? He'll just be like,
This
oh,
fan base doesn't fucking care at all.
yeah, and he'll just
right?
be like, okay, I guess I just entertain mostly juggalos now, but
Yeah.
otherwise, very little
Yeah.
difference.
Which was fine. I mean, what was he really doing before that?
I
mean,
know.
What was the last groundbreaking piece of music that Marilyn Manson put out? But that being
Yeah.
said, Smells Like Children or whatever, that was the fucking...
I mean, he did, yeah. In his prime, he definitely had groundbreaking
Did some
shit, but not
slappers.
so much.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
not. I feel like the only reason he's not making music and performing right now is because he's tied up in legal battles. But I don't think that he's gonna stay out of the limelight.
Do you think he's grouchy at Billie Eilish for doing the exact same thing he did, but she's just a attractive young lady?
He's got to be. There's got to be
There's
some
got to be some
bitterness,
where he's
right?
this is what the people want? Just
Yeah.
me again, but in a new body?
Yeah,
With
he's
richer
I can
parents?
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, just you're not self-made at all? Cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if Alice Cooper's sitting there welcome to the club.
Yeah.
No, he's
yeah,
just
yeah.
watch this.
Yeah, they golf together now.
A lot of room on the course, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's that point where Randy Newman gets to tell you you're fucking retired now, and you get to but where is the rock and roll retirement thing? Are these guys partying that much, and are they just trying to stay alive at that point? I would absolutely fucking love to hang out with Vince Neil and just, I don't know, eat a pound of brisket and not party.
Yeah.
I wouldn't at all.
No, I wouldn't. It would be fucking terrible.
Yeah, he seems, I don't know,
He seems like the worst of all of them.
and none of them are. Here's where I'm gonna get real pretentious.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I don't think any of those rock and roll guys were artists. They were just sort of factories that
Right.
gave people feelings
Totally.
and told them, jump up and down, and they were events, and they were like they were providing a product, and the product was a party.
Yeah,
But
performers.
But now, but nothing they made really, like you can argue, like, what are you talking about? Fucking, I love who's the Axl Rose's guy. Welcome to the jungle. I really don't like that sort of thing. It's fun music, and I like it fine, but none of that is stuff that I would ever put on voluntarily unless I was like, I'm going to listen.
You don't think like November Rain really has that substance that's gonna like put you to no
do anything for me? No,
I'm with you there.
And I think that that all of that, like, they aged poorly, and their music was a time and place, and then now we don't need them for anything anymore. And the smart ones just bowed out, or went and worked on their craft. But like the pathetic ones were like, no, Chinese democracy's gonna be worth it. Like, no, there's no way you're gonna have anything new to say.
Totally.
You're not gonna introduce a new sound. You're not gonna redefine your old sound. You're not gonna come into this with a new, old, aged perspective. It's just gonna be you trying to do what you've always done again.
Well, and the unfortunate thing is, like, the body hasn't kept up to him because Axl Rose can't even fucking do an Axl Rose impersonation now.
And in most cases, their mind hasn't either. Like, most of them are just fried, so they're just like...
Yeah, because they were fucking partying so much. Now they're just like this shell of who they once were. And it's like, why are you still releasing music? Like, who is this for? Like, because it's certainly not for the people.
Yeah,
like,
well, it's for all these sunburnt people in a field who also haven't evolved or grown.
Totally.
Yeah, they're just living in the past.
Exactly. And then, it's like, at what point am I allowed to go, well, this is sad and dumb, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of funny how much they just kept, like, propping up Ozzy Osbourne and being like, say these words, and he's like, bye in my mind. And he just like, he had no idea where he was or what he was doing for like a decade.
Friend of mine saw
that was
him,
funny.
And he, just, like, he told me about like how great the show was, and you just see clips of it, and you're like, that is a marionetted version of a man. That once was
there's like scaffolding in his clothing, just keeping him upright, being like, what?
It's like fucking like Gene Simmons now too. I don't know what he does other than like give random interviews and say offensive shit. Like, I don't understand his purpose.
Well, they still get on stage in platform shoes, which I mean, one of them, like if they. You see so
just
many,
one bad fall.
You see so many ankle breaks, and like I mean, my whole Instagram feed is like some kid trying to kickflip and break his fucking ankle. It's horrific. Why can't we get Ace Frehley just to fucking shatter a hip on
Have
stage?
you seen Kelsey Grammer falling off stage?
No.
He's doing like a one-man show on like a cruise or something, and he's like, and of course this was the time when It's a Small World was happening, and then he like walks right off the stage. He goes, good Lord. And then just is gone, and then reappears and is just like, my leg has been pretty grievously cut on the star here. Just watching an erudite man shatter a hip. Good Lord.
Rules.
All that being said, though, like I still think like Dave Grohl like gets on stage and rocks it. I don't get sad seeing him rock out because he's still has
special.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys
Totally.
it's exactly what I'm saying. Like if Dave Grohl puts out a new album, I'm like, what's going to be different about this one? Usually something.
Like
it feels like he's constantly evolving
he's
as
an
an
actual
artist.
That's evolving and changing.
I mean, he's been in 2 massively groundbreaking bands.
Exactly.
Doesn't have anything to prove to anyone.
No, doesn't. But like I'm doing it the right way because there's a lot of like stadium rock shows that like I'll get pretentious and up my own ass like that. I prefer, you know what I mean, like a punk venue, a smaller thing, a more intimate show, whatever,
Absolutely.
right? So when you go see a lot of this like stadium rock shit, I want it to be Alice Cooper. I want him to be electrocuted. I want to see the, you know what I mean, the spectacle, right? I can't fucking stand Motley Crue, but when Alice Cooper opens for him, I'm gonna go see it because like I'm just gonna get drunk and fucking enjoy the thing. And at the end,
our tickets like $280.
My pop says it fucking he knows a guy. If it's old Italian shit or whatever, we get scalped. And
all right, yeah. If you got it in,
I
would never pay for that.
No, I never out of my own pocket to do that shit.
Yeah.
But I did go to see the Foo Fighters, and you're there, and they bring out like Cage the Elephant, and all of a sudden some like young like Iggy Pop looking heroin guy, like great fucking opener, and they fucking tore the goddamn house down like that.
Yeah.
You know, you can do rock and roll in a big fucking stadium sense when you give a shit like that.
Yeah, and Dave Grohl, he's like probably broken like his ankle and various bones like a dozen times performing. Like he still fucking gives it his all.
Like Stompin' Tom Connors, there's like he would
legend.
fucking stomp holes in the goddamn stage.
Doing
his thing.
Yeah.
Do you ever root for somebody to fall? Because I mean that is I've never. I was watching Jay-Z perform in the round, and like part of me is thinking like he's getting really close to that edge.
My on top of the Kelsey Grammer one, my other favorite video is Travis Scott falling off the stage while auto-tuned.
Oh,
You seen that one?
No,
but that
that
just sounds
amazing.
awesome. He's
He's like,
like
oh
his
no.
he's
Like,
So there's like a million perspectives of it too, because everyone's on their phones.
Yeah.
So it's a Drake concert, and Drake's like, bah, 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 da, da, da. And then Travis Scott comes out, and because none of these guys are good performers.
Yeah.
He goes,
Yeah.
God damn! And, like that's his opening sentence. And then
yeah.
apparently like this stage is shaped like a donut. So there's just nothing in the middle of the stage.
Oh,
so he
no.
comes out and goes, God damn! Yep. He's gone. He's just whoop. And he's away, and then they pull him out, and then like he manages to like, let's do it, and like gets the thing going. But it's like the funniest goddamn. And I don't like Travis Scott, so I'm like, love it.
Fuck
Yeah,
Love
it's
watching
the
him
best
fall.
thing ever.
Well, I can't stand like that kind of hip hop show too. Like when you go there and you
Yeah.
can see somebody that's actually like fucking like a talented MC that's gonna like
Yeah,
really
yeah.
fucking bring the crowd down, and then or you get like 5 assholes on stage. You don't even know which one's fucking rhyming. They're
Yeah.
fucking doing the whole thing.
Yeah, just
I
like
can't
mumbling into
fucking
the
stand
microphone.
it.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
maybe I'm a dick. Maybe I'm.
I don't like. Here's my thing that I got really sick of. I don't like being sworn at. Get the fuck up. No. Like that's my instant. I'm
This
like,
is
just
aggressive.
be a better performer.
yeah, totally.
Like, quit
Oh
telling me
my
what to do because you're too
God.
tired to do this correctly.
Yeah, that's
Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck up. The thing that I would always make fun of was, let's open this pit up.
Oh,
Is
dude,
Yes.
fuck.
Oh
so
my
fucking
God.
funny.
I've
Where I'm
said
like,
that
no.
shit in McDonald's.
Yeah, dude.
that is my favorite.
I used to do that at open mics when they were terrible.
Oh,
Be like, let's open this pit up.
that's awesome.
It's just like, because the moment anyone, like when you're at like a bad show and someone does that, I'm always like, no.
yeah.
I just want to watch. I'm tired. I don't want to do that. I'm tired. You're tired. Just do your song.
I remember being at the Warped Tour and some fucking band. I can't remember who, but we had to, like they tried to split the crowd up, just do like the wall of death
Oh,
or whatever.
God.
I'm standing there just being. I'm like 13 years old. I should be excited about this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, nah.
Yeah,
I
like,
s- I
this
did
is
a-
concert, not like we're not doing physical like activity.
Yeah,
here.
but
We're
then
not
like Less
doing,
Than Jake
like,
comes on
yeah.
after, and I'll skank fucking 45 minutes straight too, right? So I draw the line.
Well, yeah, I did, but
Bro,
for
you
your-
skanking?
I'll
Yeah.
bro, I skank hard.
Let's get down for the skank.
yeah.
Do you like Ninja Spy?
No, but I respect their on-stage presence because
They-
they're doing 360 spin kicks and shit.
They love the skank, dude.
They love that they're all about
yeah.
the skank.
I like Ninja
I
Spy.
do, but yeah, like big,
Interesting.
big, big Slackers fan, Less Than Jake, and all that kind of stuff.
I did a wall of death for Born of Osiris, and I took an elbow into the eye so hard that I was like, I think I'm done with metal for a while. Like it was just crack, and I was like, and I loved Born of Osiris at the time, and then yeah, it hurt so bad that I was like, I'm not here for this.
No,
I want to
yeah.
go do stand up.
Any
Yeah.
any mosh like related injury is always I don't know it's
And also,
stupid. There was a
Yeah.
time that it was like a badge of honor or whatever, but I was at a Flatliner show just like in the pit having a good time, and some kid's fucking head come back and like I damn near broke my fucking nose. Like when
Yeah,
I touch
dude.
it like this, it's so I'm over there in the Cobalt bathroom just like fucking blowing fucking blood loogies out of my just trying to get back in there or whatever. And like
Yeah.
this is what we love to do.
yeah, well, yeah, it's, mine too. Like I'm just be like, I don't go to the gym. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not ready for this.
Oh, dude, I
Yeah,
do
I
2
think-
laps in the circle and then I get out. Like I really
Oh,
have
yeah.
to mosh.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like
think
every
about it.
mosh I've been a part of has been like a near-death experience because I just get like trapped and like lost because people can't see me because everyone is like a fucking foot taller than me, and so
Yeah.
I just get like
I felt
trapped
pretty
amongst
bad.
the bodies.
Once
yeah,
the mosh feels like everyone else is performing, it's like, are we even listening to the music?
Totally.
Yeah.
Or are you just desperately trying to stand up?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have you ever been to SBC? There was a great venue down on Main and Carroll that had half of it was a skate ramp. So at the end of the skate ramp was the stage.
That sounds sick.
It was
I'm instantly
so
in on that.
fucking
Yeah.
awesome, man. As beer started to get spilled and like moshes, like circles start to go up, you don't really realize that you're running up the side of the fucking ramp and falling
That's
down and shit.
awesome,
It
though.
was so much fun. I bring Jackie to see Off With Their Heads there. And I sit her up on the at the top of the quarter pipe, and as soon as they come on stage, I'm like just slide right down into the thing. She saw me do it; she's gonna be okay. 3 bands, like hours later, I'm fucking hammered, and I just turn around, and Jackie's still just like sitting on top of the ramp. Just
I'm good up here, yeah.
No, this works.
yeah.
I felt terrible, but like it's still that, you know what I mean. You have to find that place, right? I'm that guy, 6'3".
exactly.
Like I'm the guy that turns around and sees you, and it's like, I have to apologize to you at the end of the show. Because
Yeah.
I've been having way too much fun directly in front of you.
Yeah. Same. Craziest mosh pit you've ever been in?
Probably The biggest one would have been Rancid doing Out Come the Wolves in Vegas, like front to back or whatever.
Right.
Everybody was kind of there, and that's like everybody's favorite Rancid album. So that one was probably like the scariest because you're in like 20,000 people and you don't really know like where to go.
Yeah,
but
that's too many.
yeah, it was kind of shit. Like I was really excited. You know what I mean? It was
That many
something.
people could asphyxiate very easily.
Dude,
Yeah.
totally,
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
you could
right?
just-
Yeah.
Well, there was a girl that I remember like she's kind of like fading out or whatever, and then it came to the point where like, hey, we have to like lift her up and just like crowd surf to safety. So when you're
Yeah.
in like those situations, it's a little much. But probably the wildest one would have just been like a local hardcore show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just of like 14 guys just picking up the change. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like so like
I've been in those.
Yeah, the hardest that I've ever been hit is by like some kid in a small town that like put like screws through his own leather belt because they don't sell studded fucking belts and shit like
Oh
that or whatever,
my
like real
Yeah.
DIY hardcore or
Oh
whatever.
my
Yeah.
Yeah,
God.
And like left with some like fucking like I don't know, basically like cat scratches all the way down my thing just 'cause some fucking kids fucking homemade
bashing.
Yeah.
homemade fashion just really fucked my face up. But
Yeah.
that was good times. But I don't know, I've been so goddamn many of them. But
Yeah,
now,
that
now
sounds.
I try to sit like just behind.
Yeah, same. It's
Yeah.
I love it, and I like being able to watch the show. But yeah, I think the hardest ones I've been in have been like small local shows.
The kids just really go for it. You know what I mean?
Well, I've been the
Yeah.
kid, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, I had a long fucking week, and then
Yeah.
the moment you recognize a song, you're like, oh shit!
Well, like that Converge show, man. There was a couple guys. They don't come through this fucking town very often, right? So there
No,
was some
never.
people like you could see it in their eyes, like, holy shit, this is gonna be a moment. And like I'm walking in there, and I'm looking at some fellas like, that pit is all yours, boys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have
Go
at
for
her,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think like with the punk thing, especially like pop punk and the not even like the Good Charlotte thing, but like the Descendants or whatever, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff is more of like community. Let's all like arm
Way
around each
nicer.
other singing it. Yeah, man.
One of
there's
the
a lot
most
metal
fun
stuff
shows
that,
I've been
there's
to-
fucking just way too violent.
When I went to Radioactive in Victoria, and it was like one of the most enjoyable shows I've ever been to. It was like this super tiny venue, Wheelies, which is like a biker barber shop bar kind of thing. I don't know. It's very Victoria. I hope they're still there. They were a super fun venue. And like a bunch of comics were like, we're going to Radioactive, and I was like, don't know them. And they were like, they were in the Marked Men, and I was like, I don't know them. But super fun band, like great show. Kind of the thing I was talking about, where I was like, I got super into them after. Because just like clearly they were like older dudes that had kind of done like the touring thing, gotten very good at being musicians, and then it was just like all of us crammed into this tiny venue. The band was like the whole stage was like the size of this room.
Fuck yeah.
Venue was the band was right there, so you're just like looking at them, and then the mosh pit was just very like.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun, and I was like, "This is great." And then, like after that, I went to like Comeback Kid, and somebody was like, "My stepdad beat me," and, like, and then like they play broadcasting, and you're like, "Oh no!" And he was like, guys with like football helmets are like, "Yeah," and you're like, I really like this band too. Just barely surviving. You come out, and then everyone's like, "Is it fun?" You're like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
Just fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets too wild. But I don't. But I am looking forward to going back. Like the first
For sure.
opportunity that I get. Absolutely.
I do miss it. I miss having other people's snot and blood on me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
just
mean, 2
being
weeks
like
from
in
now
that
will
kind
be-
of
yeah.
environment where you're like feeding off of other people's energy and stuff.
I would love to have a comedy show with that level of.
Could you imagine?
I was riding the bus the other day, and people were like, "Whoa!"
Have you ever seen a comic fall off the stage?
Yeah. Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Fuck, that just happened.
Usually
like
bigger people.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, a little top heavy.
Yeah. Where they kind of pump, and then they kind of roll off.
Like just a couple weeks ago, I saw this comic, like a new comedian at an open mic at Susie's place, almost because the stage kind of ends.
Yeah, there's
like
that
back.
weird.
Yeah,
Yep.
and like stumble, like almost fell like backwards off like into the wall. It was, I mean, they recovered, but it was like, oh geez,
That would be
that
such
threw
a
his head
fun-
off. Yeah,
That'd be such a funny way to die.
falling backwards off the stage during an open mic.
They
Yeah.
followed their dreams, bombed really badly, and then died. That's all on the tombstone.
Yeah.
Doesn't even tell you their name.
I would love if they're
Cause
like
death.
after the
Just
ambulance.
causing death. And then there's a bunch of emojis and it says LOL on the bottom.
Should have been there.
I'd still love to see like the comics reaction though. Like as soon as the ambulance takes care of her, wheels the fucking body out, and then like
The next
The
comic
next
on
yeah,
comic.
stage.
goes
it's
on
like so am I still gonna get 5?
They're like, so,
Yeah. Next guy's like, and your next comic. Ugh.
You're gonna love this next guy. Yeah.
Moving right along.
We're gonna keep the show rolling here. All right, give it up for the paramedics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Umperefe, everybody. It's just, that was weird. Or better yet, a comic that doesn't address it.
Yeah. Do their set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom the other day. Everyone,
Oh my god.
I was at the bank the other day, and people were like crying in the audience.
Are they gonna be okay?
Comic's like, hey, don't talk while I'm on stage.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Owen.
Shut up.
Hey.
This is my time.
Yeah. Reclaiming my time.
Oh my god.
fuck.
Well, I don't know where we can take it from there.
Randy Newman.
Randy
Newman.
Newman. Yeah. Circle it back
Circle
to
it
the
back.
Circle
Newman.
it all back. So
Yeah.
how you go from punk to Randy Newman
Yeah.
is like going all the way back around with that hardcore lifestyle and people like walking the walk. If you look at Randy Newman's, also on Bad Love, Great Nations of Europe, it's an anti-colonialism song.
Yeah.
So
Definitely, yeah.
Randy Newman has been fighting this good fight. He has been like anti-colonialism. He has been like anti-Republican, anti-racism since like the 70s. And he's been fighting this all very quietly on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And he should be a counterculture icon.
No
and just because
shit,
he's
yeah.
not dead.
Right,
Nobody's gone
yeah.
into it yet, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the Toy Story guy."
That's
when he
true.
dies, everyone's gonna be like, "Holy shit, I had no idea." Randy
Yeah.
Newman was punk as fuck.
Mark these
Right,
words.
yeah,
Mark
there
these
you
It's
go.
fucking
it's
We'll
true.
circle back to
When
it,
he
yeah.
dies, everybody's gonna and I fully recommend. A lot of it's on Spotify. Go through his albums and start listening to it. There's beautiful music. There's sad music, but there is so much funny music, and sometimes all in the same song.
Yeah.
Like he writes from the perspective of whoever he finds interesting. So sometimes there'll be a song from the perspective of a redneck gay basher in San Francisco. And like it's great. It's some of my favorite songwriting, and super fun, and it's for when I want to still think the thoughts I think, but maybe something a little more mellow.
Totally.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to give it another listen with this perspective.
Because
Well, I think
you
that was
just
the
heard
thing-
sadness, but you got to listen to the
Yeah,
lyrics.
Yeah, well,
Exactly,
yeah, I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
was
It's
the
the
thing.
piano. It's
Yeah.
too melancholic for you.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah,
and I was
yeah,
hungover
yeah.
this morning doing the thing, and I thought
Yeah.
that you were just fucking around. The
No,
whole
not at all.
time, too.
Yeah.
So
Not at all, dude.
I
Yeah.
think
He's
that-
like he has taken names, he is slashing throats, and he has taken people down, but he's doing it with a wry grin on his face, so nobody sees how hard he's going.
Yeah.
And he's just been ignored largely by pop culture long enough. Like for short people, which is probably his biggest independent hit, which is short people ain't got nobody to lean. Like it's great fucking song. And that song it's written from the perspective of a serial killer who hates tiny people. Like it's absurd. It's a man who hates
Oh my God.
small people, and he's like, I'm going to kill them. So it's
God.
they have no body, they have no reason to live. I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill them. And
Christ.
it's a great song, and it's like a fun little ditty that everybody knows, and then everybody thought it was just this funny little song, and then I think the Small People's Association of America in the 70s was like, you made a song about wanting to kill us. He was like, yeah, it's funny. Like it's a funny song about it.
Yeah,
I wrote it from the perspective of the villain, and they
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
okay, and he was like, yeah, like I'm saying that it's wrong to think these thoughts, but I think it's interesting to put yourself in their mindset. And then
It's
another
a
one.
writing exercise. Figure it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he always writes from the perspective of the people he's taking down, which I think is what a great writer would do, because he's
Totally.
empathizing with them.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and another one of his biggest songs is "I Love L.A." in the Mr. Bean movie. You know that song?
Yeah.
I love L.A. I love it. Bum, Super fun song. Rolling down the Imperial Highway. Big nasty redhead on my side. Super Santa Ana wind blowing it hot from the north. We was born to ride. That song is written. It's about L.A., which is where he's from. He's like California, L.A. born and raised. So that became the official anthem of L.A. People love it. But when you look at like the lyrics of that song, it's a takedown of how vapid and soulless L.A. is. Like it's about how L.A. is a beautiful place in the desert with really no culture other than babes and cars and stuff. And it's being like, and it opens with that whole takedown. You know, hate New York City. It's cold and it's wet. You know, blah blah. And then it goes into how LA is this fun party city. But he starts going like, look at that mountain. Look at those trees. Look at that bum man. He's down on his knees. Like it's pointing out it's like LA is a flawed place. And it's a takedown of LA from the inside. And everyone in California loves it. And like I think like the Golden State Warriors come out to it.
Oh my God.
It's like it's considered the anthem of California.
Interesting.
That is fucking awesome.
And it's the whole thing is he actually being like, LA is kind of a vapid soulless place.
I would pay to see you doing a one-man show of just like Randy Newman, like you doing Randy Newman.
Have you ever
for an
considered
hour.
something like this?
Yeah.
What's up with the 2-man show? Like what can we expect from something like that? Are we gonna get any musical pieces?
Almost always. Always.
Well, I know we're gonna get a yay.
No, you won't. No.
Okay,
That's a traditional.
That's-
I mean, we didn't even get into CanCon Our Lady Peace.
yeah, man.
But yeah, no, I love Randy Newman. I think he's punk as fuck. I think if you consider yourself like a singer-songwriter fan, like the Warren Zevons and the Towns Van Zants, I think that you owe it to yourself to get into to the Newmeister.
I'm
Alright,
really looking forward
sold,
to.
yeah.
He rules.
I'm actually in there.
I'll put together an album list.
I'm gonna sit
Please
down.
do. Yeah.
If you can
Send us a Spotify playlist.
We'll post it.
Yeah.
Fucking go scroll down, motherfucker. You'll find it.
Harps and Angels.
Harps and Angels.
Great song.
This is
There
awesome.
we
man.
go.
Okay.
Do you want to plug? Do you want these people to find
Plug
you anywhere?
anyone?
Do you want
Yeah.
them to go fuck themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I always was like, fuck it, man, let the comedy speak for itself. And I have no money or followers or fans.
So follow this
Yeah,
man.
so
He's the
yeah,
funniest
give him a
motherfucker in the
follow,
city.
yeah.
I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, but I never tweet because I'm bad at it. Every time I tweet, everyone's like, shut up! And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram and I just post, pictures of places that I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fantastic,
Fuck
man.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
September 18th.
September 18th.
September
$5. Little Mountain Gallery. Showbiz or Else by Brett Skill and Darcy Boon Collins.
Nice. Only come if you're a comic.
Well, other people are welcome, but we're gonna do a lot of inside baseball takedowns.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah,
All
man.
right. Well, thanks so much for coming on. Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Trump 2025.
There you go.
At least.
At
And then
least.
forever.
Yeah.
The Emperor is returning.